So one other thing I wanted to capture very quickly tonight is since we launched Boolean, which there's a couple videos in that. The Amos meeting was 3 weeks ago now. I've come to a huge realization about just our business and trying to grow a business. And that is, I think that most entrepreneurs fail because they're trying to do too much and they're trying to solve too many problems. And you need to focus on something that is very, like, focus on a pain point and solve just that. And then say no to the other things around that. And one thing that in recent, for those of you that have been watching, know that, so for the longest time, we were trying to be a general marketing company and we were trying to do everything imaginable in the digital marketing world for businesses that, small, medium-sized businesses. So we were offering to do websites, social media, videos, photos, content creation. We made a documentary. Like, there was just no focus. And if you were to ask us what our goal was or what our focus was, we would have said something like, we work with small to medium-sized growth-oriented businesses. And what I know now is that that is not even close to a niche to have. That's like, it doesn't even, any good business is a growth-oriented business. And it wasn't until about 5 months ago that we started dabbling in the space of oral surgery and saying we're going to focus on oral surgery. And that's a very, it's honed in quite a bit. But even that has boundaries that you have to set. You can't just be a marketing company for oral surgery. There's a lot of differences in those types of just oral surgeons in general. And one product in particular, this Boolean product that we came out with, is something that I really have learned a lot from. And it was honestly something that I thought was so simple that there wasn't a need for it. But what I found out in the last 3 weeks since we've tried to sell this at the various meetings is we finally have a product that can be sold, because when we talk to people about what we have, rather than the cold calls of 4 months ago where I was calling and saying, hey, I'm from SkEye Media, we do digital marketing and advertising, are you interested? Nobody is like just actively looking. As a business owner or an office manager, you're not just looking for other people to come in and like give you what you already have, but maybe a little better or a little nicer or whatever. That's not, no one is seeking that. Just like if I'm probably not going to buy a car from someone that calls me up and says, hey, I have all these different sorts of cars. I'm wondering if you're interested in getting a new car. Even if I do, like maybe I have an older car and I'm interested in a new car, I'd have much higher success if I focused on, a particular demographic or market that I thought would be very interested in, a Tesla or a very large minivans for people that have 4 or 5 kids or something. But having more of a target on who you're going after, now you can immediately bring up the pain point that customer of yours or your potential customer has, and now there's a conversation to be had. And so the cold calls that we've been doing lately have been much more oriented towards a single problem that an oral surgeon has, which is not having a lot of Google reviews. And then the second component of that is making it very easy for patients to leave reviews for you. So in the last 3 weeks, we've been doing very, very well by focusing exclusively on selling the Boolean review system and talking about how this is a product that does one thing, does it very well, and it's reasonably priced. And that's something that I think it's interesting that we've had Boolean sitting in our laps for almost a year and a half, and we've never done anything with it because I thought, there's nothing there. And there's so many other companies that are doing it, and you just have all these excuses. And I thought it was too simple. And the reality is that you need a product that is simple and easy to understand to be able to scale a business, because trying to do digital marketing for any business that's interested and not having any limits on what you do and don't do, no matter how much that person is paying you to do it, it's never going to be a business that you can scale, because you can't teach what all that you do to a new employee. And by having the Boolean review system, we're now able to focus on very specific things and pieces of this puzzle that an oral surgeon needs. The interesting thing, and this is my last point, is that now that we're coming into the conversation solving a problem, now we're having a conversation and we uncover that there's actually a lot more that needs to be handled, but they just didn't know, or they weren't looking for that, because the only problem and the only pain that they saw was this one particular thing, which happens to be reviews. So by focusing on a very niche issue or product, now we're opening ourselves up to substantially more business, because we can actually start a conversation and develop a relationship on a product that we are going to deliver on. So that's just my little lesson that I've learned in the last, I guess it's technically the last 4 years, is that I think too many entrepreneurs are coming out of the gate and wanting to solve everything. And you need to find a simple problem that you can solve very well and then price it reasonably. And that's how you get your foot in the door with businesses. And then once you have a satisfied customer, ask them what else do they need to have solved, and then validate, is that something that other people have, or is this just a unique occurrence? But anyways, that's my big takeaway, is that you absolutely have to have a focus, and a focus on a pain point, not necessarily a demographic or customer. That's like a subset of whatever the pain point is. But really focus on what is the specific pain that we're going to solve, and then let's solve that, and good things will start to happen. So thanks for watching, guys. I'm back on the video train. I'm going to try and get back into this. I've just had these high expectations of what I need to create in order to post, and I need to get rid of that and just get back on here and start telling you guys what we're doing, because there's lots of exciting stuff coming on.